What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Red Door Podcast,
where faith meets real life.
Every story has its beginning, and ours started at the Red Doors.
Welcome to the Red Door Podcast.
That's what it was. I think we should do a little cute, do a little fist bump. Fist bump.
No. Sorry.
I'm your co-host, Eric.
I'm Celis.
And I'm Clarissa. Happy New Year, y'all!
Happy New Year!
We here.
New beginnings, new year.
Yeah. 2025.
So, Red Door Podcast. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about how we started. What's this all about?
The Red Door Podcast. That's crazy. I haven't seen y'all in a long time.
I know.
Like
I saw you like
6, 7, 8, 9 months. It's like no. It's at the Red Door Podcast. You want to go first?
Yeah. So how do we come up with the name Red Door Podcast? First off,
I think it was we were trying to find out what do we all have in common, like a strong past, a strong history that we had, and of course that was at the Red Doors.
Right, the Red Doors.
Mm-hmm.
The Red. What is the Red Doors? What is the
Red Doors? So Christ Haven Church. That's where we all originated from.
Yeah.
Like, we all met at Christ Haven Church.
Yeah.
And so whenever we talk about the Red Doors, it's kind of like this lingo that the old Christ Haven Church members know about, right?
Yeah.
We all know what the Red Doors mean because that was the church back in the day. That was the second church in Christ Haven.
It was the second church, but it's the church that we all.
Yeah,
it's the church that we all met.
Church.
Yeah.
My first church.
Our beginnings. So. Yeah, and I think that's really important when we talk about going further in life. Always remember where you came from.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like a dedication to our beginnings and also moving forward with our faith in God.
For sure. A strong foundation.
Yeah. It's also fitting that we dropping at the beginning of the year as well. Yeah. New beginnings, right? Things like that. The Red Door, that's a great name. Where did you come in at the Red Door? How old were you when you got there to the Red Door? Christ Haven we talking about.
So I was at a different church to start, and I think for whatever reason we left that church, and then I came in when I was about 7, 8 maybe. Mm-hmm. I was at the Red Doors, and the first thing I noticed at the time, as what I can remember, is that there was like a lot of people my age. It was like big families. It was like families of 7 siblings, 8 siblings, and they was like all like around my age. So I was a bit of an introvert though. So I was to myself, and I saw some young brothers that was my age. So I kind of hit it off with them. It was a little bumpy at first.
Wait, did you get like? Were you the one that got beat up in
church?
In church?
I was like 8 years old, and we was
that you?
No, we fought around the corner. We ain't fight at the church. I would have got 2 beatings. I would have got 2. I would have got 2. So we fought outside around the corner. It was like not an initiation. It was kind of like we was sizing each other up. And I won.
In the house of guys.
I was 8 years old, but I won. I ain't never took an L. I took some L's, but not in church. Yeah, so they was like sizing. We was sizing each other up, and then I met some of my best friends through that fight.
Marcellus, was you a part of that fight?
I don't think I was here that day. If it happened today, I will be. But not that time. But yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so me, I don't even remember. I know I was there from birth, of course, but it's like my vivid memories happened when I was like 8, like 7, 8, where we used to have like the church gatherings and stuff like that. And I always wanted to be able to sing in the choir, but like the older choir. It's like you always, the children's choir was cool, but it looked like the older people, the teen choir and stuff had all the fun. It was like y'all went places, had the matching shirts and all that. Like, as soon as I was like, I'm about to meet my age range to go to this, my dad was like, you know what? I want to start my own church. So I was kind of salty.
So y'all left? Y'all left?
Yeah, I left Christ Haven. But all of my friends, my closest friends, still to this day, I've met at the Red Door.
Mm-hmm.
At the Red Door.
I like that.
Yeah.
For me, what was you about to say?
No, I was about to ask you.
For me, well, of course, I grew up at the Red Door, like a pew baby, basically, you could say.
So wait, you weren't at the first church?
I wasn't at the first church.
Okay, so you were born after.
I want to say the first church started in 1985.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time I came around, we were in Darby. So we just moved to the Red Door.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that September. And I was born that November.
Oh, wow.
85?
I was born 89. Sorry.
I was saying.
Okay.
Lord, Jesus. Ooh, I'm already old.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, my fondest memories, man, I think my whole childhood kind of like reflects back on the Red Door. Just growing up, and it was always church.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fun, though, because it was a lot of young people. I think for me, most of my friends, my childhood friends, were my church friends because I was at church more than I was anywhere else. So like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Monday night prayer,
Monday night prayer, Tuesday night Bible class, Wednesday noonday prayer, and in the summertime I had to go to noonday prayer. It was just like
in the summer, right?
In the summer, you gotta go to noonday prayer. You gotta stop playing outside and go right to noonday prayer.
Oh my goodness!
Thursday was choir rehearsal. Friday night service. Yes. Saturday you had some time off.
Okay.
If we didn't have like a ministry somewhere else, and then Sunday, 8:00 service. 8:00 service. Sunday school. But I kind of didn't really go to Sunday school like that. Low-key.
You ain't go?
I did. No, I did. But I think as I got older, I kind of like slacked on my Sunday school.
Yeah.
Like going to Sunday school. But yeah. So you had Sunday school, then you had morning service at 11:30, then you had afternoon service at 4 o'clock.
Wasn't it 8 o'clock too?
Yeah, 8 o'clock. So
8
you had
8 service.
8 a.m. service. Sunday school.
Which was at what?
10 o'clock. Sunday school at 10 o'clock, 11:30 morning service, and then 4 o'clock afternoon service.
So you had Saturday off, but you had to still go to bed like early because you got to get up to be to church at 8 a.m.
I remember going to 8 a.m. service one time. It was like when we went over Riot house, our homie Riot. It was 8 o'clock. I was there at 8 o'clock. Then it was Sunday school, and then it was that. Then it was like 5. I've never did the whole
day,
Sunday schedule.
right?
All day.
It was like Sunday school, a little bit of it, and then it was the first service and second service. But I'm like, yo, that's a lot, man.
It's a lot.
You're preaching 5 times a day?
I don't understand.
5 times a day? Like, that's a lot, man.
Yeah,
really love
hear
God.
the crazy part. Like, excuse me. Hear the crazy part. I had, like, my church life. Mm-hmm. But when I went to school, I was, like, a totally different person. I was a totally different person. I was not.
I can't imagine you being a totally different person.
I was not Brother Eric.
Like you were bad.
Juvenile.
I hung out with all the juvies.
For real?
So to say, but the kids, yeah, we was mischievous.
Like what did you do?
I was trying to be just like them.
Okay, I got you.
So I did whatever kind of like the crowd was doing. And I think, yeah, and I've always been the type where don't challenge me on something.
Yeah.
Cause like I'm like, what are you talking to? Like I'm now watch this.
Yeah.
Type thing. So I was always in the mix. And then when they would be like, elementary school, they were like, yo, somebody go hit him. Like, yo, E, go hit him. I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, are you scared? I'm like, what? And I just go over there and like be bad all the time.
Oh my goodness.
But I always had the image of like, I would say, yeah, I'll do it. No, look around.
Uh-huh.
All right, cool. Ain't nobody looking. Because I couldn't get in trouble. Mm-hmm. I was still a church kid, so I couldn't get in trouble.
Right.
Oh, so you had that underneath your belt.
So I had that,
like,
yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think I was too... I guess it changed when I got older, of course. When I was young, I was too scared of, like, my mom and my dad to, like, try anything for real. Like, I wouldn't know what to do. Like, I never, like... That type of stuff.
You wasn't like bad like me.
No. I cut class twice in my whole life. One time it was like third grade, fourth grade, and we run the hall. Like, bro, why am I in the hall? Let's go from hall like first floor, second floor, third floor. Like, and then the next time I was like in 11th grade, we had a sub. Like, why do you? I still don't understand that kids cut class when they have a sub. Like, that's the chillest room you could be in there, the most chill. And I went to the bathroom at my home. We were just in there. Like, that's how you had to sneak out sometime when they do the hall sweep. And they filmed me. They were like, yeah, it's 2 in the hall, 2 in the bathroom, 2 in the bathroom. So I tried twice. Like, being a child was just not for me. It's not for me.
Wasn't for you.
I tried a little bit. And I always got caught. Everything I did, I always got caught.
That was
so, you know what? Got my mom with the belt. My mom had a full-time job. I'm sorry, Mom. That's so funny.
How were you? Were you the same in church and out of church?
I was the same, but when I got to high school, I want to say I started smelling myself. Like, you know, I lost weight and I got, like, I looked a little better in high school.
So you were chubby?
Yeah, I was chubby.
Can we get a picture? Can you have the picture show?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a picture. But no, like, growing up, I was known as like the preacher's daughter. So I kind of had to like live up to that. But then in high school, it wasn't so much.
What high school you went to?
I went to Penwood.
Oh, okay.
I did cut like a few times with my boyfriend, but it was stupid because we would just sat in the car outside of school. Like, it was dumb.
Cutting just to cut. Like,
cutting just to cut. And I got caught by somebody at church. I got caught by y'all want to hear that story?
Wait a second. So you got caught by...
She had little tits. She had little tits in the car.
No, listen. So this what happened. So my boyfriend had came. My boyfriend at the time, he was at a high school like 40 minutes from my high school.
Jeez,
so he borrowed somebody's car, drove to my high school, and then we would cut. We would be in the car chilling. We went to Wow was like down the street or whatever.
I got worse as it progressed.
Yeah, I got worse.
The older I got. So elementary school, I was like a little... Middle school, actually, I was pretty good in middle school. But then high school is when I was like... Because, you know, that's when, like, like you were saying, like, it's, like, independent. They don't always call when you cut.
Right.
So you can cut, you get away for some of them. And, yeah. So high school was, like, the same... I was the same person in terms of, like, what I was doing. Kind of like, people would say, do this, and I'll be like, no. Then they push me a little more, and I'll just do it. So... It was like that all the way up in high school. And then college was a different story.
How was it in college? Because I feel like college, you're more independent.
Yeah, you're like completely independent.
You really don't have to go to church at this point.
You
kind of had that free will. You had more free will.
Yeah, I didn't go to church. I didn't. So that's where my story kind of like goes on the spiritual side, where I kind of like rejected God when I was in college, from like a intellectual standpoint and a spiritual standpoint. Like, I started to question things like, what's going on? And I think that started with, if I go to church, go back to the church scene where I was younger, I think I was told to do like a lot of things, but I wasn't always given like the explanation in detail to where I could understand it. Like, they'll say, oh yeah, they'll give you a reason or the answer like in biblical words, right. And you know, I still can't read the KJV because it's like confusing. And then that's how they was answering questions. So I never really knew why, like really why, or as they say now, I never really had like my own relationship with God. So in college, where I was like completely independent, I didn't have to go home to my parents, where it's a godparent house. Right. It was my house. It's sort of set, you know, my little apartment, my little dorm room, and your roommates, they know better. So, right. So, yeah, I was more of like a, I was more open to everything else. And my faith did not stand the test where it wasn't strong enough for me to hold on to Christianity. So I was like into Islam, into all of them. Yeah, into all of them, most of them. Islam, Buddhism, atheism, just stuff like that. Just exploring.
You studying it?
Yeah, I was studying Islam. I was kind of studying everything, including the little Christianity, but I kind of felt like I knew that already. So it was more like studying Islam, studying Judaism, Buddhism, and just kind of seeing what was out there. But I wasn't like a proponent of Jesus in my first couple years of college.
That's a powerful testimony, because what led you back to God?
Damn.
I think, which is what I like to do now, is just to get like the historical context behind it, and I like weighed all of them, and like Christ stood out the most. So I wasn't, as I said, I wasn't trying to like be Christian. I was just trying to like see what was out there. So the story goes, I almost graduated. I think it was, I think I graduated. I graduated in like 16, 17, something like that. And I was like at church, because my mom asked me to go to church, but I wasn't, you
wasn't like in church.
I wasn't like willfully going to church. Like somebody asked me, and my mom like, you be there? And I'm like, all right, y'all go. So I wasn't active. I wasn't doing anything in church. But then someone asked me to help them, because I was always with kids, help them with Sunday school. So I was like, I don't know. I think I owed them a favor. So I was like, all right, I'll go and I'll help. So I went in to help, and working at the YMCA and stuff, like I just know how like get things popping. So it was a lesson, and I was like, let's do it this way. And then the kids like loved me. So after that, only reason I went back to do that Sunday school was because the kids was like, are you coming back next week? Are you doing that? So I was like, all right, I'll go back. Long story short, over time, the person who was doing the Sunday school was a little older, but apparently they couldn't make it a couple Sundays, so I had to like step in and do it. And in doing that, as you know, like when you preparing a lesson, you got to know what you're talking about. Right. So I was like reading the Bible, like to figure out what's going on. Like, all right, this makes sense. I'm like, that's kind of interesting. Like reading. And in that span is when, I can't pinpoint it, but it's when God was like speaking to me, like as I was reading it for myself, because of the circumstances. Wow. God was like ministering to me, revealing himself to me, where I was like, all right, I've been studying these things. Let me just study this one right here. So as I studied it, it was just kind of like evident. Historically, it was evident. Spiritually, it was evident. And I like confessed to God. I was like, more informally, like, my fault, Jesus. It was you, my bad. But then shortly after that, like, it was in sequence. Like, I confessed that, Lord, like, Jesus, you're Lord. Like, you're God. Like, you got it, my fault. Then I received the Holy Ghost after that.
Wow.
That's amazing. That's kind of how my story went. It's crazy because looking back, I don't believe that God ever have things in place for no reason. Like when something bad happens. Yeah. So, like right now, what I've been working on is trusting God without an explanation. And it's crazy because that's where it all started with my parents. Like they would say, look, you got to do this. And I did it and I practiced that. So now today I can kind of tap into how, like, my foundation, like, even though they didn't explain it before and I just had to trust them, is what I'm going through now. Like, God, it might not make sense right now, but I'm going to trust you.
I'm going to trust you through it all.
That's lit.
So like that's even when you can't trace God, you got to trust him through it all.
Walk by faith, not by sight. So that's kind of my roundabout.
That's lit.
So I'm in it. I'm in it to win it.
That's lit.
I already won it. He already won it. He won it. It's like, no.
I like how God like reeled you back in. Like,
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I love studying now. Like I like the historical context of it. And the last thing I'm gonna stop is it was crazy because when I was studying Islam, as you know, like Old Testament we share the Old Testament. Right. So I was able to like trace back to Christianity from there. That was like kind of a segue.
Wow.
That's a whole nother story, but just interesting how that worked out.
And I like the fact that you could actually witness to someone who is practicing Islam.
Yes.
So it's like
even if they don't agree,
right?
Like we have common ground to talk about, and then it can just go from there, kind of.
Right.
And I've done that before. Like they was like, I don't agree. Like, all right. But it's not like we're having like a back and forth,
like a debate
argument type thing.
Because I think that's how you do win souls, is having an understanding first, so that way you can explain. Because oftentimes people want to know like the reason behind why you think the way you do.
Yeah.
As far as like Christianity, and I think like growing up, we were so used to because it's just the way it is, and it was never like, well, this is the reason why.
Right.
So that's probably why like sometimes we question things, because we don't understand the why behind it. And so, yeah,
and I do want to shout out Bishop Todd. He definitely explained it. I just wasn't listening. Listen. I watched some old tapes and I'm like, oh, that's good. I'm like, oh, that's because I'm more mature now. But when you're a kid, you kind of don't understand it that way. So.
I don't know. I guess I go.
Yeah. Go ahead.
My story is kind of like the origin of it is kind of the same, where you in church like all the time, like you're just always in church. But it was kind of crazy. Like I was like I said, I was too scared to try stuff when I was younger. So when it was like in school, they used to always ask like, Marcel, why don't you cuss? I didn't ever have an explanation for it. I kind of was like church, but I was like, I really not studying, reading the Bible or nothing, so I didn't really know what it was. Could have been God, but I thought it was more so fear. I was like, I don't need to cuss. Marcel, you want to go to this house party? I was like, no, not really, because they're going to be smoking weed and drinking. I don't want to go. So they used to always ask me, like, why don't you go? And I don't know what it was. Like, one day I just kept getting older. All of the fear that I had just, like, left out the window. It was kind of like, I just like, yo, let's just do whatever. Like, let's go outside, have fun. You know what I'm saying? Chasing the women. And then getting my appetite higher for alcohol. That's like, as I look back on it, it's like the craziest thing, bro. It's like when you like, yo, let's take this 2 shot. And I about to get drunk over 2 shots. The next time I go, I'll be like, yo, all right, this is what I did wrong for 2 shots. You know, when I get back into it, I want to be able to drink like 4 or 5 shots and not having to throw up. So we just kept like trying to study. That was me personally.
Wait, you was studying your intake?
My intake of how I can
it was an art.
Be outside more.
Art to it.
Yeah, it is. Like, all right, if I eat more, if I drink some more water, I do more. I can have fun more, quote unquote, have fun more. So it was like, as you get older, I just started going through like, it's normal, but like mental battle, just like questioning everything. Like you said, questioning everything. Questioning my purpose in life, questioning this, questioning that. It's normal, like I said before, but I never wanted to trace it back to religion because I always was questioning everything. Like, bro, you say God is real, but why these people in this specific part of the country don't have clean water? Like, why they? So I'm doing all that. So I was kind of like mad at people struggling, like mad at all these questions. So I would never want to study God. I was like, man, my mom made me do it. I don't care about that, whatever. So I always wanted to be outside doing stuff. So I just kept trying to do all this stuff. So as I said, then when the mental battle started to happen, I never wanted to go back to God. It was like, what can I do to not have to read my Bible? What can I do to not have to pray? So I was like, all right, let's go to therapy. So I was starting therapy. Therapy is good. I still go. But then I was like, all right, let me keep going. I kept going. But some of the stuff I was still battling was still happening. Like I got over some stuff, but it was never like a complete like relief, freedom. So I just kept drinking, kept trying to do this. All right, let me try to do this, do that, chasing the girls and all the other stuff. But then it's crazy. Like recently, that's when I really started to, it was like a shift that I was like, you know what? Let me finally try it. I never tried it. Let me finally try like religion. I wasn't too far gone where I completely doubted God, like didn't think he was real, but it wasn't enough for me to really want to like read the Bible and stuff. So it's crazy. When I talked to my therapist, whatever, she said the complete like wholeness, the people that get complete when they mental is when they can really find the spiritual aspect of like life. You just feel whole when you find God and also can find like the peace of mind, but you know, God give you peace of mind as well. Yeah. So once I started to do all of that, it's just crazy, bro. Like I ain't never think I could cry, bro. I mean, yo, I be driving, listen to certain songs, like sometimes when I
think about the goodness of Jesus,
same song, like the same song, I be crying over like the same song over and over. I don't think I cry a person yet, but it's like certain things. It's like, yo, I ask a question. I read my Bible. I never thought I'd read the Bible. Never thought I'd be in church all the time. Like trying to go to church, like rushing to church, being anywhere. It's crazy because my dad is a pastor. So I ask questions like, yo, this, and this, and this. And it's also evident of your lifestyle. Like when my lifestyle is like, bro, it's different. Like people could see it, the difference. Like I was never too crazy. They could see a little bit difference, but when you in certain moments, when you like having the moments where it's like heightened, the emotions are high, do you watch how you react to it? So like, why don't you react how we react? Like, what's the difference? Why don't you want to do this and this and this? And I trace it back. Now I would say, bro, it's like the Mary says, it's the God in me.
It's the God in me.
It's the God in me. But that's real rap though. Kids ask questions. Like in my occupation as a teacher, kids ask questions. I never thought I'd see the day.
They will.
Double back, like, what church? Like, now that I say it more, They'll go to church.
Call you out.
Yeah, you church. So one girl asked me, she gonna say, is it a cover charge for church? I was like, hold on, so you never been to church before? She's like, no, like you gotta pay to get in? I was like, no. So she asked me a lot of questions like, so how is it? So how is it when they get the Holy Ghost? How is it? Like stuff like that and all that other stuff. So I talked to her about it. And it's different that people can actually see it and the phone call stopped. I testified a couple weeks ago. The people that you was running outside with, people will stop calling you, bro.
Yeah, they will.
Once they see like you stop drinking, like all right. You stop doing this, you all right. And they will stop calling you for that stuff. They'll actually call you for spiritual stuff. They'll stop calling you to hang out. So that's kind of how I got to where I'm at, where it's just kind of like I saw somebody before, it's kind of lit a little bit.
Yeah.
Like having peace of mind it's kind of fun. Like having God is.
I can testify to the part where they stopped contacting you. I think it was like 2 months. So I came to Christ a little sooner than my friends did. Yes. just a little sooner. No, like it was a small span where I was like first, and then they found their own way as well. But I would see pictures and I'm like, yo, y'all ain't invite me out. And they was like, no, we was out doing other stuff that you don't do. So we
used to always do that. Like, we not inviting Eric for this. We not I respect it. Like they do me. Respect it. Like, I ain't calling you out. You could bring, they used to be like, girls would be like, yo, bring Eric with you. Like, no, he not gonna be getting drunk with us. Leave my boy be. He's good. It's cool. It's all good.
Now, what about you, Clarissa? What's going on? Or what happened? What happened?
What had happened was. No, how did I come to Christ? Kind of like the same thing, like being in church all your life. It's almost like you're numb to the sermons because you've like heard it all before. So like for me, it wasn't until life happened to me where I really met God. I want to say that's my testimony. Because I've being a PK, you just hear the same thing over and over again. God is good. This is, the way of life. But it wasn't until I lost my father where my faith was tested. Because the story goes, we were on a ministry trip together to minister to like at a youth revival in Jamaica. And crazy enough, it'll be 10 years this year that this happened, which is like insane. It's been 10 years. So, and I remember at the time I was a youth president at the church when it happened.
Oh, how old were you?
I was 25 years old. So yeah, I was 25 and I was like, oh man, I remember looking at the flyer. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be nice. Like going out to minister with my dad for the first time. So I was like really hyped for that. And the first night he preached, it was crazy because the way he ended the sermon, he left like really, really fast. Like he was preaching and he like left out, and something in my spirit was like, something is wrong. But I kind of like, I didn't know what it was, but I felt it. And then like one of the saints came and was like, something is wrong with your dad. You need to come in the back. And when I got to the back, he was like throwing up. And he couldn't stop. And I was like, well, maybe it's the heat. We just came off the plane or what have you. So we went home. Long story short, he ended up in the hospital. He passed like maybe 3 days afterwards, right? And during that time, I was like, man, like I really thought, God, that you was going to save him. Like, why? Why not? Why didn't you save him? And I questioned God in that moment because I'm like, okay, he prayed for so many people to be healed. They were healed. this is your servant. Like, you've done all these other miracles for everybody else. This one heart miracle, how come you couldn't do? So at that point, I was just like, well, what's the point of praying? Mm-hmm. If miracles don't happen for my dad, or if it doesn't happen for us, then why? Like, what's the reason? So, like, I think after that, I went to, like, I want to say my rebellious stage. It was just kind of like I was lackluster. I didn't really care anymore. Right. Yeah, I just didn't care anymore. I stopped going to church for, like, a couple of months because I was just mad. Like, I was mad at God. And, growing up, you always, they always tell you, like, oh, you shouldn't question God. But then I was like, no, I think I can question God. Because when you're in a relationship with somebody, it's okay to question. Mm-hmm. Like, it's okay to be upset with that person. So I went through that season, and slowly but surely, I think God, like, willed me back in. And then my mom got sick, like, 2 years after my dad passed. So I was like, okay, God, here we go again. But through it all, I want to say God still had his hand on my life, because just like that, it was about 5 years between the time my mom and my dad passed. Like, my relationship with God, I was able to grow closer to him through it all, like, especially right after my mom passed. And I think it was because I had to know God for myself and not have my salvation based off the fact that my dad was a pastor. I think it was like, okay, Clarissa, now you have to know God for yourself, and you have to grow up, because you're no longer anyone's daughter. So, but you're the daughter of the Most High. So I kind of had to, like, relearn, okay, my identity is not tied to my position in the church, but my identity is tied in Christ. So I can no longer be lazy, pertaining, like, to my relationship with God. Like, I really have to work this out. So I think that's where I am now. And I want to say, like, God is amazing, because like, I was talking to my sister, like, man, this is like the 10th year anniversary that Daddy has been going. And, like, just to see, like, the growth in, like, my family, the growth in our relationship, like, amongst each other, it's been nothing but God. Because sometimes families don't last when like, the core member of the family is no longer here. Right. And it's sad. Right. But I thank God, because through it all, like, our family ship has gotten closer. Like, I know a lot of people say, oh, y'all are such a tight family. We are, but it took work to do that too, and it's nothing but God that's been holding us together. So yeah, that's kind of like my story. Yeah.
That's lit.
That's what's up.
It's crazy. Like, you talk about your dad or whatever, dad passing. Mm-hmm. That was, like, I had a lot of people pass in my life. But that was one of the ones where it was like, I don't know. Like you said, question. That was the first death that I know, not like on your level, but just in the church, sure. You just question just everything. That was like the first one where I just questioned everything. Yeah. And that's super crazy. Like, grandma passed, this person passed. It was like a person that you see, like we said, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Every day. A week. Like, every day. We see a week. And it just is, like, super crazy. It was crazy experience.
Yeah, because he kind of, like, he was like the centerpiece of what we all met too. So, and it was around the time I was in college, so that didn't make things any better.
That's true.
When he passed 16, I think it was 16, right? 16, 15? 15. I was a senior, yes. So something like that. I remember.
That's true, because you were a senior, because that summer we had your party at my house.
It was that summer. Yep. Yes. So
he was there, wasn't he? There?
No, he wasn't there. That was like, I want to say that was like the
Jeremiah party. Jeremiah had a party too. That's the one I'm thinking of. Remember Jeremiah?
Party was after.
Before.
After.
Wait, Jeremiah graduated before or after you?
After. He graduated.
College? He graduated after me. I graduated first.
No, I'm saying he graduated high school in 2013.
His high school party.
Yeah, his high school party. He was there, high school party.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
his high school. Mixed up the two, because I was like,
it was my college room. Where it was at your mom in the backyard. That was fun.
I remember that.
What was the remix? I got Saints to Christ Saving. I got Saints to Christ Saving. Remember that? I got Saints to Christ Saving. I can pull that video up. It was a day of rapping, I think.
Who's the beat though?
The Panda beat.
Panda. I got Saints to Christ Saving. I got Saints to Christ Saving.
Pay times.
Offering. Pay times.
We gotta show that clip. That clip was funny.
Yeah, we gotta definitely show that clip. But yeah, that rocked me. I think that rocked all of us. And I think after that, like, man, life just looks so different when you have somebody that passes away. Mm-hmm. Like, that was very important in your life. Like, just, it has a different meaning. I don't know. Like, I got really sensitive after that. I mean, I had to go to therapy after that. Yeah. It took some time for me to go to therapy, but when I did, it did me some good. Like, for sure. Like, for sure.
For sure. It's crazy. Do you think life... my bad.
No, go ahead.
Like, life got faster? Or just slowed down and get faster? If that makes sense?
I feel like life got faster. Because, like, when somebody passes that you're really close with, you kind of count differently. Like for instance, you'll say, man, this is like the 5th Christmas without my father, or this is like the 3rd birthday without, I don't know, you count the years in a different way. Like, yeah, it's crazy. But at the same time, life happens and it's good memories too in between all that. So it's just like you gotta learn how to like enjoy, but you also have to learn how to grieve in a healthy way. Yeah. Because you can grieve in an unhealthy way and like turn to substance, turn to different things. Man. Yeah. Like,
it's like, look at all these good memories that we have.
All these good memories.
I think
that's why I try
good perspective to have as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, that's what I try to say to the kids now. And it's like, y'all, I don't know, they're not taking life seriously.
That's how you know we old. Yeah, because then old people used to say that to us.
Life seriously.
Like even the moment, like even if you like be into sports coaching or whatever, like even in sports, whatever you do, like the people close to you, connected to you, I'm trying to tell them like some of these people, it may seem like you're gonna know them for the rest of your life, like have contact and really, really know them. Somebody might go to Atlanta and never come back to the crib. Like you may never ever see this person again. So share these moments all the time. Like you said, we old now, so every moment is like precious to me. Like even if the Christmas is not the best, I guess you say the best, whatever, quote unquote. It's just like being around the people is like makes it like.
I think that's like one of my I think that was last year. That was one of my goals. I got some new goals this year, but last year one of my goals, 24, which just ended. So one of my goals was to spend more time like with people, but like my family, people I love. Because, for example, like somebody live in Jersey and like, oh, we having something in Jersey. I'm like, man, I ain't not driving out there if y'all ain't doing nothing good. You got it. But now it's like, all right, family gonna be there. All right, I'm gonna make the drive. I'm gonna go ahead because I love to save a penny, like gas money. But now it's like, all right, let me go out there. So spending time with people and just getting the memories. I think one of my goals this year, I'm gonna just tell y'all some of my goals right now. No, I'm gonna tell y'all just one.
You can talk about goals.
To take more pictures. I gotta take more pictures and do more videos so that I have things like to look back, because I realized how much I was going through my photos. And it was almost like a social media rush. You know how you just on, so you like, oh, I've been in my phone for so long. I was going through my photos, like really enjoying and like just reminiscing and nostalgia and going back on the things, how it used to be, people who used to be here. It was really like a good time. Like, so I gotta make sure I do that a lot. You know, let me do one right now. I'm just But yeah, that was that's one of my goals. Like I want to have more physical memories, photos, videos, everything like that. Yeah.
Sure.
Make collages, all that cheesy stuff.
You should do a photo album at the end of the year.
I should.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
physical?
I just got my first physical photo. I went to like Hobby Lobby and I picked one up. I was like, I'm gonna print out some of these pictures that's in my phone.
Yeah, I
like
get it now where my mom be having like the pictures on the wall and stuff. I'm like, all right, I'm about to get me one. Like,
That's lit.
2024 have all my highlights.
For sure.
All your highlights. And y'all can do pictures of when y'all go away.
Yeah.
Right.
Y'all friends giving us stuff. Put the pictures in the album.
Exactly.
And then that way y'all can have like a night where y'all just like flip through all the years.
Look, I get it now, Grandma. The old books.
I understand it. I understand it.
I understand it now. Yeah, and I want mine to be like that too. I want it. Got you.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, man. It's crazy because we talking about goals.
Mm-hmm.
You done
I'm gonna just do one for now. Yeah.
Right. It's crazy. 2024 was probably. I'm sorry. I talk proper. Probably like the top year of my life. Maybe one or two. It was a pretty good year. Where it's just like I had a lot of talents I believe I had. And I'm like, all right, some of my mom was like, I'm not good at time management. So I don't think I could be good at like 4 things at once. So I'm gonna just focus on one. That's how my life always was. Focus on teaching. That's it. Focus on this and that's it. Focus on that and that's it. But last year I'm like, yo, I'm gonna do everything I want to do. So we go coach. I'm a coach at the school. I'm a coach a travel team. Let me just do it. See how I do. I just did it. All right, I want to be a part of a production team. Let me just do it. So I did it. And I said, I want to do this. And I did it. So just like you find a way, you can find the time to do whatever you want. Not to overextend yourself, but you can find a way to do it. And I feel like this year is just to piggyback off of that idea, to just release, like do whatever I want to do. Just that's the goal. Just keep doing it. But also, I don't want to sound like cheesy now, but just keep, like you said, the spiritual goals, all that, just to keep reading the Bible, keep being involved in the church. I feel like it's a goal of mine too.
Yeah.
That's basically it. Just keep building off of what I did last year. That's just be coaching, keep doing that. Be involved with music, keep doing that. With the friends and stuff like that, hang out more, keep doing that. That's basically my goals.
Y'all write y'all goals down? I gotta start writing mine.
Yeah, I do. I
Like in the same book, I gotta write mine.
Oh, in the same book? So you got like a book with goals, like a goal book?
Because I think I lost my 2024 Jones. I wrote it somewhere. It's somewhere. I'll find it.
You
I used to be scared of, because I feel like you...
Yeah, because like you don't want to like not accomplish it, and you really like sad. Yeah,
like,
last year I was like, I did not hit any of these goals on this piece of paper. Like, where'd the time go?
What was some of your goals from last year?
It was like this one particular goal was to sell like digital products or whatever. Because I created a Bible study digital product, but I didn't really like push it like that. But yeah, that's all it was. It wasn't anything like too crazy. But I looked at the goal, I wrote it down. I was like, yeah, this is what's going to happen. And then like 6 months flew by and I was just like, yeah, didn't get to cross that off.
You got to adjust sometimes though.
You got to revisit life.
With life, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing.
So another one for me is I just think it's important to have like your spiritual goals.
Yeah, for sure.
As the top priority. Like you got your your worldly goals, things that come and go, but your relationship with God, the same way you might have a goal like friendships, like, oh, I'm gonna hang out with my friends more. Like I'm gonna hang out with God more. Like,
yes,
I know, and like you said, it sounds like cheesy, but everything we saying, like as you get older, it
makes sense.
It makes sense, and it does just make sense. Like, all right, I'm gonna spend more time, but then being strategic with it. How am I gonna spend more time? Like when I'm gonna spend more time? How does that affect the rest of my schedule? So my spiritual goals are the ones that I want to make sure I prioritize. And one of my goals, which was before 2020, what are we in, 25?
25.
Lord Jesus, was to do ministry. And I don't think I said it when we started this, but when we do RedDoorPodcast and talking, like, this is ministry for me. So
yes,
congratulations, y'all are a part of my goals.
Good job.
Doing goals. RedDoorPodcast is definitely one of my goals. I want to just be able to minister to people. People are on their phone all the time, including myself. So just being able to reach out and meeting people where they are. Like if you're gonna be on your phone, all right, scroll by this. spiritual based or Christian based podcast and see what we got to say. Comment, add something in, whatever. But just doing ministry is definitely one of my most important goals for 2025.
Like ministry anywhere?
Ministry anywhere, which this includes that. So for sure.
That's good.
I like that. I got it. Now you making me want to like go back home and tweak my goals and like only do spiritual goals.
I think it's just prioritized. Like spiritual should be the main, but the other ones are definitely as important, like financial goals. Yeah. Get your money right. Yeah.
That's
it makes sense.
Yeah, and if that doesn't work,
it's biblical, right?
For sure.
Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added unto you.
Look at that.
And I was listening to something the other day, and it was talking about how Solomon, I think Solomon was.
What'd you say?
You gonna say, look at that?
Look at that! Out here preaching.
Solomon, he asked God for wisdom, right, and everything else came. So I was like, oh God, I'm asking you for wisdom because in wisdom I have an understanding of everything else. So I've been like studying Proverbs recently.
You gonna be
in Proverbs? Break
you.
everything
Clarissa, what you think about? What you think about this? Got the Proverbs.
It really breaks everything down. It breaks life down. And I'm like, God, I need to pray not for more money, not for more power, but give me wisdom. Give me a better understanding of who you are, a better understanding of your people, a better understanding of how I can serve your people too. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
It's crazy that you said my ministry. It's crazy. I don't know why I thought about this. I think when I did a little inspirational speech or whatever a couple weeks ago, but it's crazy how what you do like every day, like from coaching and teaching, is basically set up where you talking already. Not saying use your platform, not all the time. Not using your platform to teach all the time to be a minister, but the skills that you need to be a teacher can cross over when you are a minister. Yes. Like speaking in front of people, knowing how to communicate with different people, different young kids, older kids.
Right,
like you said, Sunday school, all that. So whenever the time is right for you to, if this year it'll be easier, easy transition to do that. Like when people ask like, why you not nervous to speak in front of me? Why you not nervous? It's like, you do it all the time. You talk all the time. So it's like certain things that maybe God was already, like you said, setting you up for this moment. Like you just never knew that all this year it was being set up.
Yeah, and I think even with like you comparing it to teaching, I think, or you, like your content area, like you know your content area. So even like when the lesson plan or something don't go right, I could just talk about it because I know my content. So I think that's just important of like knowing God. Because if I'm talking to somebody and I don't know what to say and I'm just talking mumbo jumbo, they gonna know. Just like the kids. The kids be like
you ain't studying that lesson. You don't know what you're talking about.
What you talking about? They say that in the middle of class. But when I know it, or I'll like, it only take me like 10, 15 minutes. But sometimes I don't have that 10, 15 minutes. Yeah. So when I'm able to look and know what I'm talking about, they know I can talk. The bell will ring and I'll be like, oh, y'all let me talk. Sometimes they let me talk, like so class can kind of go on.
Excellent questions.
They ain't gotta do no work. I'll just be talking and I'll go off. But yeah, it's important like to know like what you talking about to be prepared for that. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, God might be setting y'all up to ministry. Listen, a couple of weeks ago, Marcella's mom had a birthday party, and this man,
where the clip at?
For real, like he owned the room. Like it came so easy for you to MC. It was really good.
Thank you. That was my first time ever doing it in that fashion. It was like, all right. That's what my mind is. It's like, all right, prepare. I think somebody said that a lot of people get scared or fearful when they're not prepared for it. So just prepare yourself. Like nervousness is good. That's natural. Yeah. But once you're there, it was just like, all right, let's go. Like you said, the content and stuff, just do it. It just felt comfortable. That's something else I used to be praying for too. It's just like, get over the fear. Like last year was like my fearless year. Just get over it and just do it. Do it scared. Do it nervous. Just do it scared. Just do it. Just do it regardless of.
Do it scared. But don't have fear. That's biblical. That's biblical. No
as
fear.
As long as you got that mustard seed.
You can be scared to do something.
Yeah.
But you're not supposed to have fear. Because God hasn't given us
a spirit of fear. Right. So I like that.
Absolutely. Finish it. Quote it. What is it? Chapter verse. But for sure, I resonate with you. That resonated what you said. Like, do it scared, but fearful.
Because you don't want fear to hold you back.
Exactly.
For sure.
Because if it holds you back, then that means you're not taking action at all.
For sure.
You're just sitting idle. And you don't want to sit on the gifts that God has given you. I think that's my big thing. Like, that was my prayer. I was like, God, at first I used to be frustrated because I had so many ideas. And I'm like,
sound like me, right?
I was like, God, I have so many ideas. I feel like I'm burning myself out. But then God took me back to the story in the Bible, the parable, when God had gave one of the men.
Cash up.
Right.
Cash app. Get your cash app. Y'all can cash app.
When God gave one of the men multiple talents and the other one talent, right? And one, he was a good steward over his talents, right? And the other one, he just hid his talents away. And I was just like, God, you're amazing. I don't want to be that person to hide my talents. I'm going to go full force and do what you called me to do.
Yeah.
Like, not holding back anything. Because I want to die empty. That's my ultimate goal in life. Like, God, let me die empty. I'm dying to myself. I'm serving you with my all. And that's my ultimate goal. Because I don't want to die with potential in the grave.
If you look at the camera and say that.
I don't want to die with potential in the grave.
Yeah.
And I think that's for I don't want to die with potential in the grave. You got to go full force and do whatever God has called you to do with everything that you have. Because we have time, but we don't know how much time we have.
You're preaching.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That's good. That was my thing. Be what God called you to be. That's like my little motto now. We talked about you didn't talk about it, but I'm gonna talk about it. My fault. The idea of people that's connected to, you get people saying a lot in church, but that's like really, really true. Like, your salvation, you don't know who you're gonna help out in the future.
That's
like
true.
your gift, whatever rooms you're gonna step foot in, is gonna allow you to save somebody. Like, whatever I say today could help somebody tomorrow that I just don't know.
You don't
and
know.
it's just
a ripple
like,
effect.
for sure. And that's like really, really facts. Like you said, cheesy and cliche, but that's real fact.
It's facts.
It's like,
you never know.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why you got to do what God has called you to do. Because, like you said, you never know who you're going to affect. Even if you don't live the life of God, you're still affecting somebody.
You always affect
because
somebody.
that's just how life is set up, right? We're affecting someone, whether it's positive or negative.
Right.
Whether we're doing something positive or negative, it's affecting somebody. Yeah.
And they always watching. There's people
always watching. They may not say it, but people are watching.
Watching, bro.
People are watching.
Always watching, bro. Yeah. Always watching. It was a student of mine. She in the classroom, I used to be like, yo, well, I still do it today. I don't like people cussing my class. Like, no, you're not. Use profanity. And I'm going to check you on it all the time. Every time you say something, I'm going to check you on it. So it was one day, the girl's like, all right, Mr. Chisholm. All right, we get it. We hear you. She said, you said stop cussing. We're going to work on it. But how do you expect us to act like something we've never seen? Like, how do you expect us to? So that was another thing to me. Like, all right, every time I step into this classroom, I'm going to just kind of model myself to the up. Not to be perfect, but try to keep modeling myself to
the expectation.
Of how I am for myself and also to the classroom. Yeah. So every time they can see it, they'll check themselves now.
Right.
Oh, my fault. Oh, my bad. I got you.
Right, because you already set that tone.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's something that always stick with me now.
Yeah,
just,
for sure.
I don't know why I said that.
And I feel like I feel like your classroom is your ministry too. Yeah. Like,
because you have to be who you are in the classroom.
You have to be who you are in the classroom.
At all.
You can't hide it. And kids will know when you're faking. They know when you're not being real, but they feel the difference whenever they come into your classroom too.
Sure.
You agree.
Like, for sure. Honestly. And sometimes, like, they may not verbally tell you how important you are to them, but I'm pretty sure that you guys are making a difference in the education system. Like, being young, gifted, and black over here, like, you got some educators. Like,
and people go to church. They won't tell you. Like, they won't tell you personally, but they'll tell somebody else, like, yeah, she go to church. And they'll pop up at the church.
Really?
Not saying they pop up for you, but they'll just, somebody else invite them to your church. You'll just see that person at your level. So like you said, the life that you live, it got to be the same all around. Because it's like, we acting this way, but you like this. Yeah.
And they'll call you out. Like, no, I just see you.
That's real crazy, though. Yeah. That's good.
I really enjoyed that talk about spiritual goals and life goals. So I'm looking forward to rewatching this clip with y'all so we can like come back in December of this year to see how that went.
A little accountability partner.
Accountability, yeah, definitely need that.
I'm glad I need one.
That's lit. Now we want to hear from y'all. All right, comment below your spiritual goals or your just goals in general for 2025.
Well, that's a wrap, y'all. Make sure you follow us down below. Follow us.
Yes, sir.
And I'm Eric.
I'm Celis.
And I'm Clarissa.
And we are
the Red Door Podcast. What's up, family? We want you in on the next episode. Make sure that you email us any questions that you might have.
It could be any type of question. Spiritual, real life, anything. We got you.
All right. We hope to hear from y'all soon. God bless.